of Love, maybe not looking to get a taste of their own medicine, saw exactly how lethal that pick could be in the few fights where it was able to get going in those turnaround scenarios. And the question remains, what is the priority going to be? Shen, the rising first pick, but Karma still potentially available.
Nidalee is something we have to think about. Is Unicorns going to ban the third mage here or ban out the Nidalee jungle as last pick? And then is Gilius going to pick it up and see if he can kind of solo carry the early game?
Interesting. Aurelia taken off the board as well. Really do not want to give Chachi the individual opportunity to carry this game. Nidalee banned out. If Schalke take the rek'sai here, do we just expect move to default to the Elise? Or is there even any reason to contest the jungle pool at this point?
I mean, that's comfort right now. I think a Karma first pick would be nice. Given the way both these teams seem to like Jhin, I think it wouldn't be out of the world to see an early Jhin pickup here as well. See, I think you can consider Azir in a different draft. We haven't seen enough of Exile's Azir to say that it's really that strong.
I would argue that we have seen enough of Exile's Azir. It was not good. He did not look comfortable. And unless there's something from scrims that we don't know about, there seems to be no reason to prioritize this pick.
That's what I mean. Like, he's never showed a strong performance on this champion. So I don't think the priority should be there. However, if Schalke just want to lock out an early pick, they know they're going to be playing Azir anyways, and they're not afraid of Unicorns of Love knowing this, then it's okay picking up early and looking for a couple of counter picks on the next rotations.
And the question is, are the counter picks worth more than these meta power picks? Because we still have the Jhin available, we still have these comfort picks available for the Unicorns of Love. I like that Schalke have so much confidence in Steve that they're just going to first pick here. Know that they're on blue side, they're not going to get the opportunity for that mid lane counter pick, but wanting to give themselves more potential flexibility with counter picks. However, I mean, depending on what Unicorns of Love pick here, it could really limit what Schalke can bring to the table.
I mean, Schalke could also just go full, kind of go for an Ezreal comp. Is the AD carry that plays the best on side lanes, good control in teamfights too. Early Caitlyn here, interesting. Not going for a Jhin pickup.
Of course, was pretty good for Veritas in the previous game, a comfortable laning phase, despite what we thought would be Hylissang's lack of comfort coming in on the Nami.
I mean, he did get help from the Shen on multiple occasions, so that's what I want to see more. If this lane comes out without the Shen as an influencer. Honestly, Karma Jhin here could be a really good rotation that just pauses. It's called like pausing draft because like, you know you're going to pick the champions anyways. You leave more room for better counter picks later on. Like, you try to match whatever somebody picks. Like, if AD is picked, you want to pick AD yourself. If jungle is picked, you can, but you pick the role that can still vary the most. Like, you can still go in multiple directions with your jungle. You can go hard engage, CC tank. Karma Jhin is likely what comes out here for Schalke.
Absolutely, and I think having these safe rotations, giving up as little information as possible while still securing picks that are comfortable for you. This is a great, I mean, well predicted, and of course, a really solid bot lane coming in on the side of Schalke.
They're just playing a poke siege comp right now. Mid game, they want to group up around mid tower, get any damage out that just procs the mark, so Deadly Flourish can be put on. So you have Karma Qs, you have a Azir zone with soldiers, then you have Jhin follow-up. Jhin is incredibly potent from ahead to kind of siege a mid lane tower, and if Exile locks in his LeBlanc, Unicorns are going back to their traditional 1-3-1. If they ever fall behind, there's not enough wave clear in the mid.
And we saw this exact same matchup yesterday in Game 2, and LeBlanc was not able to find massive advantages, was not able to be a reliable threat, and in the end, Exile getting greedy, looking for these 1v1s is what cost Unicorns of Love the game.
It all depends on the jungler. If Move has presence in the mid lane, Exile can snowball, and then it doesn't matter. Like, low wave clear comps aren't a bad thing. That is something we need to get out of the League of Legends lexicon, where people are like, okay, this comp has no wave clear, therefore it is bad. You just take a risk, and the risk is that you need to stay medium or ahead, and you do that with champs that have really strong early skirmish or strong 2v2 lane potential, and then you want to snowball. That's the way Unicorns want to approach this game. Like, they will never want to get stuck in a scenario where they have to wave clear against the Azir, against the Jhin, because then they lost anyways.
Absolutely. I mean, you just cannot afford, as you said, to get behind. So now a lot more pressure on Unicorns of Love, and specifically on Move. He's been content to build this Sightstone to look to be purely a force for vision, not an aggressive ganker. And now this time around may have to provide significantly more support to his individual lanes because, as you said, very risky. You're making some bold moves here when you lock in picks like LeBlanc this early.
And Steve right now is looking for the strongest dual top laner because he knows he'll have to match one or two options, you know. He'll have to beat the strongest champion that the Unicorns send towards him on the side lane. And in 1-3-1, that means you have to deal with two of them. Either the LeBlanc or whatever top laner that they choose.
Is going to be the Trundle in the end. Now, up until this week, Trundle has been the most banned champion against the Unicorns of Love. Shen rising, of course, as Chachi proves it on that. But Schalke letting it through this time around. And we've seen Steve be really confident in this matchup.
Yeah, Steve should win this matchup. And if Exileh doesn't snowball, he should be able to hold his own against the LeBlanc too. So definitely to see if Gilius says, you know what, I'm going to leave my mid lane to hang. Hopefully he survives, and I'm just going to camp for Steve. MrRalleZ and sprattel should hold their own. While Move, I think either his ganks are going to come to snowball Vizicsacsi, make him the predominant split pusher. But more likely, he's actually just going to camp mid for Exileh. We need to see how well that works.
I'm really curious to see how this unfolds. Chachi on the Shen. You talked about the bottom lane so reliant on having that global threat. Now it's off the table. Now it's about the trundle, waiting for these fights, maybe looking to have him as a split push threat, that 1-3-1 that we talked about. And the team comp is completely different. And while Unicorns have seen some success when they've been able to get Exileh ahead, this comp has not been good to them in the last few weeks.
Yeah, Unicorns have loved running the definition of a snowball comp. If at any point they fall behind, Schalke will take control of the map. That's not Yorick. That's still Azir. It's not a different skin.
Smoke and mirrors, folks.
Surprise, it's Yorick anyways.
Surprise, it's Yorick. No, it's Azir. Of course, Twitter, you got one more shot. Hashtag S04 win. If you kept the faith and you think they can close this out 1-1, I think UOL are going to get the 2-0 and move themselves up a bit in the standing. Hashtag UOL win.
All right, small pause right here. Fox just left the game. Just checking something in his client, more likely.
Had to double check that he was not, in fact, Yorick.
Unicorns of Love fans like, yes, you're playing 5v4. Fox left the game. That's not how it works.
Of course, Fox, just with some small audio issues, we'll get those resolved shortly.
Steve has quit the game. Gilius has quit the game.
Everyone's
quitting the game here.
I like how you just said Steve has quit the game, and the crowd's like, yeah!
Well, they just hear Steve and they get triggered. Like you can say like, Steve makes cookies, and they'll still cheer.
They hesitated. They're like, does he? Does it matter?
Does he really?
It doesn't
matter!
This is the best crowd ever. This is so much fun. We don't even have to think of anything to say.
That's why you become a caster, so one day you can play with your crowd as you move on to...
Well, thank you, crowd. This has been wonderful.
We
should talk about League of Legends at least a little bit, though. As much fun as this has been.
I prefer the crowd, personally. You talk about League, I'll talk about the crowd.
Well, we are going to get back into game.
Yeah.
And we can... All right, I was going to keep our focus on the crowd, but clearly the crowd is excited about the game. There they are there.
That's them.
Our lovely crowd.
And suddenly they're quiet. When they get a camera in their face, they shut down. See? It's not that easy.
But the camera's gone, and now they can shout again. Ladies and gentlemen, game 2, Unicorns of Love looking for the 2-0. Schalke looking to tie it up. And a bold comp coming in for the Unicorns of Love, one that they have struggled with in the past, but if they can get the ball rolling, absolutely lethal. Right now, though,
Sportal combat.
Just a fish and a woman in a dress trading some blows.
Fish in the water.
No buff, surprisingly.
No buff. Rito, please. Nami should get a roam buff whenever you're in river.
Oh my god.
What have we done?
Listen to the people, Rito. You can hear them all.
Yo, they want everything.
I mean, I don't know how people shouting. Like 10-ish people shouting
all
for roam buff.
them.
That's like 0.01% of our player base. That's significantly.
Yeah, I think you're very bad at math here, Sifa.
0.0. There's a lot of zeros.
You should contact Twitch chat. They'll help you.
I've heard that they're pretty good at basic math.
Basic math. We're told to get on this game. Production is like, Sifa, Crepo, I think it's time to talk about what's happening right here. And we have to tell you the truth. Nothing is happening because we are pre 1 minute and 50 seconds. And teams are now setting up for their standard invades where they go check whether it's a lane swap or not. And guess what?
It's a lane swap. Mixing it up, of course. Fox starting to trade blows in the mid lane. Exileh getting aggressive on the level 1, but LeBlanc maybe wanted to wait for a few of these levels. Move going to smite that out. Lots of harass on both sides, but at the end of the day.
Super standard. Camp each on one side, contested, moving over. This is where we have the small analysis and just gauge which team is slightly quicker in the lane swap scenario. Nami should start bubble in the lane swap, ironically, because that's the only AoE you have for creeps. Hylissang always killed his W, so slows down in the lane swap. So technically, Unicorns of Love should be quicker. They have more AoE for the creeps, which means they can do more damage to the tower because they spend less time killing creeps.
Definitely a good spot to be. Of course, interesting how the lane swap has evolved too. I feel like now teams willing to tank the waves, and we got this.
And this is our new lane swap cam. It was pioneered over North America. Our engineers worked long and hard, and now we can see everything that's going on.
This is great. Now as a play-by-play caster, I can just watch mid laners trade, and you can talk about all the stuff that's happening on the little cameras.
Yep, I can just gauge tower HP, which is the only important factor here. And it does look that Schalke is kind of speeding ahead here, but they have to deal with an extra wave, while the wave's already gone on the side of Unicorns.
I like your choice of words, speeding ahead.
I mean,
it's just so, I mean, I know like technically
slowly
it is a
inching
decent,
forward.
Yeah. Slowly whittling down at a slightly faster pace.
It's a race of towers. I feel like I'm at the carnival watching like a little game with the horses where you gotta predict who's winning. And nobody wins because it's a tie because we're in Europe. Both towers fall at the exact same time.
The European experience here, captured in 3 minutes of League of Legends. How truly wondrous. Move this time, actually going to take the blue buff for himself. Of course, is in the enemy jungle. Exileh, no room to come over and
It's
grab
not
it.
worth for Exileh to come over because he's already pushed in here. Obviously, Move needs to stay relevant in terms of levels. Just needs to keep pacing. It's really important to keep up your efficiency in a lane swap. It's a matter of seconds. Right now, we see both teams send a duo lane into the other lane. As they get spotted by the ward, that's a trigger for top laners to start pushing. If you want an example of what happens when you push too early, oh, Unicorn's going for the cheese. So they force Gnar to push. Oh, this is nice. This is actually really cool. So we actually have an interesting lane swap on our hands. They force.
Comes out, Exileh.
You talk about mid lane.
I got it, yeah. Exileh almost dead, but not dead. Back to the lane swap.
Veritas and Hylissang moved in, revealed on the ward. They forced Gnar to push Steve, and then they let Vizicsacsi base, and he's now going to catch that wave. So Veritas and Hylissang, they play from behind. This is also teleport LeBlanc, by the way. A very peculiar choice.
Yeah, this is something that Exileh has strayed to traditionally, and Fox, despite the TP coming in, still has the freedom to back for free.
Yeah, it's a bit of a logical
Sprattel's level
bind.
1.
You want to play 1-3-1 with LeBlanc, but at the same time, you don't want to run teleport on her. So usually you want to snowball on her in side lane, and she isn't traditional, let's join a fight with teleport. LeBlanc, I prefer offensive summoners. But this little move here means that the Unicorns can catch the top wave with their 2v2. They're fine. And they just donate Vizicsacsi a massive wave that he can then park in front of his tower and at least catch up on. So I like this little adaptation.
Quick adaptation on the fly. Interesting thing I want to focus in on here. Sprattel's still level 1. Is this a conscious choice to pour all of this XP into MrRalleZ?
No, it's just because he's moving on the map and probably was going around checking some things and making sure that he could influence the map while Veritas and Hylissang just constantly moved as a duo. And it's just something that happens sometimes. He must be very close to level 2. However, yeah, he's like 1 experience off.
Rough life.
Rough life with support. I hate playing lane swaps. It's just, I mean, why play support, right? Ooh, misses CS.
Play support because it's what the people need. It's what the ranked and the
But they don't
dynamic
deserve.
need.
Look at it. That's Sprattel. He's done.
Ooh,
one
nice
spell.
combo.
Yep.
You only need 1 level. Now he's got 2. I mean, like, icing on the cake, right?
Yeah, but look at Vizicsacsi. Despite having like normally a bad lane to start as this trundle, and getting zone off some farm, he's now like bang on even. He is funneling more farm into Steve, but it's cool to see that teams are starting to experiment more with their lane swaps, kind of revealing, forcing the push, and then swapping around. Comes at a bit of a cost because you have more travel time. You know, move bot, base, move top.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is, I mean, looking at MrRalleZ, do you think he's going to be able to catch up in the CS here? He has a single wave crashing down, but there's still a decent lead for Veritas, and they're shifting their AD carry down to the bottom side once again. A lot of movement.
Schalke is catching waves on both side lanes, which means they could actually go for maybe a dragon attempt or a collapse in the mid lane. Sadly, it's so hard to get a pick on this Azir from Fox. Right now, see Gilius here looking to challenge Vizicsacsi, but it's a good one from Hylissang. He's also there. I really like this bot lane move. So they stack the wave on the bottom. Steve can't clear it out, and then they match it with their bottom dual lane, and they go for like a 3-man siege. Unicorns are playing around their weaknesses in this lane swap, and Schalke is forced to play catch-up.
Absolutely. Fox still taking control of the middle lane, but those 2 in the top side aren't going to be able to burn through this tower whatsoever. Steve has the TP. He's going to have to burn it to get to the top side. Unicorns of Love are now 1 step behind.
So 2 minutes ago, Schalke had 2 pushing lanes, and they couldn't capitalize on that, so they backed off from both. Both lanes pushed into their respective towers, bounced backwards, and right now Unicorns solidify their push on 1 lane, And look, they make it bounce again, and they hand it over to Vizicsacsi. And Veritas and Hylissang, they're sacrificing their own playtime for Vizicacsi's benefit.
And funneling so much farm, so much gold into this trundle. We talked about this being a rough matchup, but if he can get a lead here, he's not going to be scared of that mini Gnar or mega Gnar whatsoever. Steal the stats from the mega, run down the mini, and it seems like an excellent situation. Schalke are doing their best to adapt, pouring a little bit more into Steve, but Unicorns of Love are getting the tower, matching them, and additionally grabbing the dragon.
So surprised to see this out of Unicorns out of all teams here. And it's breaking the mold. I was wondering when teams would start breaking the lane swap mold, because it was the same thing every game, the perfect mirror, a game of inches depending on the wave clearing or support, and it would usually only manifest at the end of a lane swap when Rift Herald came into play, when Dragon wasn't as relevant. With new dragons, the shift kind of went over to the first dragon. You want to kind of get that one, but it's very interesting to see Unicorns make this adaptation and get their top laner ahead and secure themselves a dragon buff.
Really like the early play coming in. We were critical of them earlier in the week, solo queue style play. We thought maybe with the 1-3-1 coming out again in game 2 that is what they would default to, but they bust out the lane swap and they're adapting on the fly, and they're getting these small advantages pretty early in the game. Now, the gold's slightly against them, but that's been a conscious shift of resources to get Chachi ahead, at least.
Still not a fan of this teleport LeBlanc, because there's no deep wards on any lanes. And now Move is playing a Vision rek'sai again, so I feel like Unicorns, they're going to run out of gunpowder in some of these fights, so they really need to start finding some picks right now. They have much more information compared to Schalke. Schalke running on fumes. They have an additional global on their jungler on move 2. Well, semi-global here, as he just travels to mid lane.
Need the tunnel, need the setup. Gilius moving in to try to take down this blue buff.
He knows that Move's right there at Wolves, because this sprite is super recent. But there's nothing he can do about it. Obviously, when you see a sprite this recent, you know Smite's just been used too, likely still on cooldown. It just came off cooldown for Move.
Yeah, don't have to worry about the contest there either. And now as we look back to the mid lane, I'm really wondering what Exile's going to be able to do here. Defensive itemization from both mid laners, but now that he's past level 6, this is the point where LeBlanc should really come out on top.
And look what Move is doing here. He has a full red side jungle that's up, but he's pathing down to enemy blue buff right now because his blue buff got stolen. So he ran from left side of the map to right side to take Wolf Camp, and then he ran all the way backwards to challenge enemy blue buff. So he's losing pathing efficiency here. Really needs to secure his blue buff. Gets it, but he's slowing down his camp clears, and he might actually fall behind more compared to Gilius, who is clearing much more efficiently.
And you can see already a decent lead in the jungle, about 300 gold.
Yeah, another 3-man invade because they know the red jungle's up, because they saw him at Wolves, they saw him at enemy blue. They know he hasn't done any buffs in between. rek'sai obviously mobile enough to survive this and can spot enemy people invading here, but this is a really nice read from Schalke, given the information that the Unicorns presented to themselves.
Tremor Sense may save his life, but it won't save the red buff, and it may not save Chachi either. Moving in, down goes the Subjugate, shots being blocked. Exile doing what he can in the front line, moved, taking that 4th crit, but Schalke own that topside jungle. And Exile, he's getting aggressive in the mid lane to clear the waves, but Schalke are in control here.
Yeah, and Schalke is setting up their siege, and this is what they want. Remember, they are running a 4-1 composition. Steve on one side lane, and then having Azir plus Jhin in the mid lane. But they're breaking off because they want to catch that bottom wave in time.
Moving down, as you said, just looking to catch the bottom wave. Doesn't look like there's going to be any aggressive engage here. Move may have a plan of his own, though.
And he needs to find an opening on mid. As a rek'sai LeBlanc combination, you need to shut down enemy Azir, but you're running a defensive teleport summoner on Exile, so that kind of limits your kill potential, and then Ignite would go a long way here.
And Exhaust, of course, still up for Fox as well, so can just mitigate that entire combo. Coming in from Exile. Does not have the raw damage right now to win this out immediately. Just has to whittle down Fox. Fox happy to take those kind of trades of blows. You can see trading even thus far and actually getting a little bit more poke down in exchange.
Yeah, once you get the Negatron early on this Azir LeBlanc matchup, it becomes a lot easier to play because the ultimate potential is much harder to execute. No Negatron on the side of Exile, so he needs to be very wary of this soldier placement. And again, the lack of aggressive summoner makes it harder to play. A little oopsie here, 2 pink wards in the brush. And support's drastically underleveled.
It's not, is it an oopsie? Or are they just trying to get the ultimate pink ward bait?
Ultimate pink ward vision in case
they heal, you know?
They regen. It's a double team of pink wards.
Can't leave him alone. I mean, obviously mistake. 75 gold down the tubes, though, not going to be too much.
It's half a support's monthly paycheck.
I mean, sprattel made it to level 4, so I feel like things are looking up.
Jeez, looking up, man. Dear Diary, it looks like soon I'll have my ultimate available. But because I'm a support champion, it actually doesn't give me a new ability. It just enhances my other ones. Dear Diary, life sucks. Sincerely yours, Karma.
Life's rough for Karma. It's gonna make a pun there, but most of the Karma-related puns are not broadcast forward.
I just like the song, you know? Karma Chameleon.
Cannot change to level 6, unfortunately. Maybe getting there eventually. Hylissang, of course, level 6 a little bit more important, but things pretty stalled out thus far. Exileh still needing to find a lead. That lack of wave clear not punishing Unicorns of Love quite yet, but things are going to get harder and harder as we progress in this game.
Game slowed down a little bit. I wonder when Exileh's going to move to a side lane. Oh, Deadly Flourish can be killed.
Sooner than he thinks. Might be a trip back to the base. RalleZ.
Pop the ulti. RalleZ.
Snare.
Pop, pop.
Thing. Curtain call. Pop, pop.
Nope.
No.
No popping. No pippity poppity was done that day.
Yep. Taking a sweet time there. Not wanting to waste the ult, maybe hoping to save it for a coming fight. Move, he doesn't care about that tunnel getting burnt down. He'll still make it in here. But the poke is coming out. Not much of it going to land, however. And Fox now set to take down this mid lane. Exileh distortioning his way back.
This is the siege they're looking for. Cocoon zone, Karma Q zone, Deadly Flourish, and soldiers. All of these can be put up here. Exileh has to dash in aggressively for wave clear. So if Gilius just holds his cocoon, Exileh can never wave clear.
Tower goes up as well. The Sun Disc making sure that there can be no flanks. Exileh getting aggressive. Just doesn't do any damage.
Schalke just could continue in his warpath down mid. They don't have to concede here. Move getting snared. They look for the snare into Flourish combo.
Locked down again on the way in. Wall back. Nice! Cancels the tunnel. First blood from Schalke. That was clean.
Move tried to buffer into his tunnel. If you get snared mid-animation, you will still complete the tunnel, but he was a fraction of a second too late on the digging, and then he got snared. And Fox, he saw that opportunity and took it for what it was, canceled the tunnel on the next part, and just outplayed Move entirely right there. Really good move from Schalke. And as a prize, they get
the 45 extra damage on Elder Dragon.
Yes. They get it.
And 15 movement speed out of combat, but we're not always excited
Buffs
about
are coming. Cloud Drake is coming.
Next one up. Of course, giving this Rift Herald over to Chachi will be a nice trade back for the Unicorns of Love, but right now Schalke set up to just rinse and repeat as you said on that siege.
Ooh, they're looking for a pick too.
Exileh has to get something back here. He's already behind the Azir. Wave goes in. Blue buff goes down. All right, Unicorns of Love secure the blue buff, trade a couple ults for it.
Yeah, but Schalke has set up the bot wave, so that's great. Let's watch this again here. It's just, you know, Sprattel's looking for the W. Snare into snare is the combo, so Move made a mistake. No, it's not getting the hell out of dodge. He just flashed over the wall. Respect the damage here. And then a really good swoop from Fox. Right now, when we come out of the replay, Fox.
That was my favorite face cam we've ever done.
Who's here to, what is it, kick ass and chew bubblegum?
Take names.
Take names. Take names and chew bubblegum. And bubblegum is and bubblegum is not allowed on stage, so all he can do
is take names.
It's take names.
It's not even intelligible anymore. That's the best part. I can't hear it now that the game's going on, but it's still, I can hear it. I can hear the energy. That's what matters.
Some good mantra in there. Energy. They actually play over in North America.
Yeah, let's strictly.
Wait, have you ever had a crowd cheer your name?
No.
Sifa? And they don't do it.
Oh, nice recovery. Respect for the recovery, but the fight is what we're gonna have to look in.
Let's see this fight.
Thank you, Fight, for stopping me from being embarrassed. But MrRalleZ may be embarrassed because he just gets popped. Instant destruction coming here. Unicorns of Love not satisfied with the way these fights have been playing out. Chachi very aggressive on the front line, but I don't know what he's going to be able to get here. Trades his life, gets over aggressive. Exileh going to pick up the Gnar in the back half, and a double kill for the LeBlanc.
Double kill for LeBlanc, which means she's now much more of a respectable side lane threat here, but Unicorns are still having issues placing the members in the correct place. Veritas, Hylissang, and Move should play from the center of the map. Exileh should play on the side lane, but it's so hard to play against a fed Azir in the mid game. Something Expected can tell you a thing or two about as well.
The struggles.
The struggles.
The immobile AD carries.
Yep. Good reaction here. Let's see how that fight started. So it's an aggressive move from Schalke, moving to enemy jungle here. Good juke 1. Good juke 2. And then RalleZ has to cancel because he's getting closed in. A double TP here coming in. Surprise, but wait, there's more. If you order right now, 2 of your members will go down. And then Exileh flashes Cocoon 2. And they deal with Steve in the backline as Vizicsacsi drops. That's honestly a well-played fight here from the Unicorns, but it comes at the cost of 2 teleports.
Absolutely. We're going to have to see if this is an opportunity for Schalke to get something back. You can see them. They've grouped in the mid lane. Maybe they're looking to make another siege here. But things are getting better for Exileh. He got those 2 kills. Now he is actually a threat to this Azir.
Deals more damage, finishes some items, gets more CDR, and most importantly, has some penetration to match that Negatron cloak.
Absolutely. I'm not as excited about this anymore. You have slighted me, audience.
We don't cheer for defensive items. If it's like a BF sword, maybe. See, now your first cheer was from a crowd that literally cheers from anything.
Wow. That was, in fact, literally a cheer for the word everything.
Yeah.
Double cheer for everything.
And they cheered louder for the word everything than they did for you, Sipa. What does it tell you? Here we see Vizicsacsi.
Oh, potentially caught out. Gilius on the way in. Sprattel here as well. Chachi, there's no options left for him. He's trying to do what he can. Jump in the air. Jhin gonna come in. Is he gonna be able to get a kill back?
Ooh.
No. Nice Jhin CC coming in from Schalke. Move makes his way down. It's too late.
Still burns the flash there on the backhand, so that's good. Definitely becoming a notable split push threat here, Vizicsacsi.
Oh. Moving in. Maybe looking for something else here. Schalke just... Not a lot of opportunities here for Unicorns allowed to push out.
But this is Vizicsacsi getting caught in a side lane when he has 2 side zones in his team. So this should never happen. So he's too far up. Look at it. If you play 1-3-1, your lanes need to match in terms of how far they are up. If Chachi gets engaged on by 3 members, there has to be cross-map potential for Unicorns to take. If there is no cross-map potential to take while Chachi gets engaged on, then there's a mistake. Moves should always look for the other side of the map as well. You never help somebody that's getting caught in the side lane on a 1-3-1 because you'll be reacting to the play as opposed to trading parts of the map. They aggress on you in the bottom, you take something on the top, whether it's vision, damage on a tower, or potential Nasher threat.
And I think this is what we're seeing in the last couple weeks, is the development of the Unicorns of Love style. 1-3-1 has not been working for them. Nope. They don't respect the cross map. Their 4-1, on the other hand, beautiful. They limit the map, they limit the options. It works for them, but still struggling with the 1-3-1. It's just something that has not clicked for this lineup. See,
the difference here, Exileh now backs off, because if he gets caught, there's nothing Vizicsacsi can do. There's not enough vision in between the lanes, too. When you play double side stone, Hylissang and Move right now, they need to group as a unit from the front. They need to figure out what side Schalke is on, move to the other side, place the wards in the enemy jungle, move back, wait for Schalke to switch, place wards on the other side, and then hope that Veritas does not get caught in the meanwhile. And that's how you slowly play 1-3-1. It's a strategy that requires about 4 or 5 minutes to fully set up. Right now, we see a bit of a pacing and posturing around this dragon buff.
Oh, Hylissang pulling the trigger a little bit early. Gilius, of course, would have spotted them out in the end anyway. Steve getting aggressive. Not going to get the long-range snare.
They see traps on the left side, so they all just try to go the other way.
I mean, Unicorns Love have the zone control here, and it looks like they are going to start this one up.
Yeah, but it may be a bad solo queue game, because they open up mid. And right now we see Schalke
Exileh.
it.
He does have a lot of damage to clear out this wave, but he has to put his health on the line to try to make something happen. Unicorns Love, maybe they can look for the collapse here.
Yeah, Schalke very wary to flank, but they have the Azir turret to put in the middle of this fight if it comes to be. Slightly over hesitant though. If they go for this push, they need to be able to kind of draw a fight from Unicorns. Otherwise, they could have easily just contested the Dragon buff. And a good poke here from Exileh.
Nice job overall. Gilius hesitating on these calls. Need to make a decision. They're just going to back off. Unicorns of Love going to walk away cleanly with the Ocean Drake. Doubling down on that extra regeneration.
Yeah, Schalke here reminds me of many of my relationships. Lack of commitment.
Well played. They're going to have to commit to something at some point.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Chachi He doesn't want to commit yet either. He shares.
No, this time he's right not to commit. Sometimes you gotta wait for something better to come along before you commit, and that is Exileh being in a better position in the top lane, the 3-man squad in the mid lane procuring some vision, then Vizicsacsi can commit. But it's so hard when you're slightly behind in the early game. So we talked about this comp only plays well from even or ahead. If Unicorns fall too far behind, they struggle, but they're looking for ways to the game here. This is what they need to do. Deny vision. This is actually an acceptable ward here, because this is part of the strategy. It's just not a boring game. They need to remove vision, play some of it themselves, open up the map.
Sprattel going down. Oh! Rinse and repeat. We see this every time, but Exileh may have paid with his life. He gets knocked back. Exhaust goes down. Fancy footwork. Can he make it? No. Shut down from MrRalleZ. One shot, one kill on the back half.
Yeah, because he's playing in an area infested with enemies, and even if he goes for a kill, he didn't have an escape plan there. He didn't flash out immediately out of the Deadly Flourish. Good reaction there, though, from MrRalleZ.
Rough life for Exileh. Still manages to get the 1-for-1 trade in the end. We've seen him pop Karma supports left and right across games, but
Sprattel opens up his diary. Dear Diary, I was taking a nice stroll through the woods. Then I realized I was playing League of Legends as a support in lane swap versus LeBlanc. Life sucks. Sincerely yours, Karma.
What does Exileh write? Dear Diary, I finally killed someone alone and then was mercilessly shot in the back of the head. What? That's not fun.
You suck at this, Sifa.
I'm sorry, I don't have as much experience
never
writing
kept a
diaries
diary?
as you, yeah.
Or you're like, Mr.
No,
you were actually popular in high school?
No. I just did the traditional high school thing where you peak and you just hold all your feelings in because it's not cool to share them. This is like the Crepo and Sifa therapy hour with supporting crowd.
They support anything you say. Is like, you know, my life was rough.
Especially the word anything. It's good times here.
Yeah.
In the UOL CS2.
We saw a bit of the defensive options of the 3-part here. Just line up the traps. We get a replay. Steve versus Chachi.
Chachi does some work, but he's under that tower. Gets smacked into his own pillar. That was disrespectful and that was dirty, but Steve, I love it. That was crazy.
You used the pillar against the trundle to send him a message. And right now, Steve, despite being the only split pusher, kind of facing 2 of them on the other side, he's continuously winning these duels, and that's what we needed from him. He's building also hyper-aggressive here.
I love the Executioner's Calling coming out. Wants to limit that trundle passive, wants to limit the ability to heal up off that subjugate.
Yep.
And you can see it costs so much for Chachi, but at the end of the day, Chachi getting too aggressive, overextending into that tower.
Third time this game right now, 3 deaths already.
Not where they want to be whatsoever. Gilius potentially caught out here. Goes up, goes down. Will he get taken down, though? Cocoon comes out. They're just going to back off. They see the other members ready to descend as Fox clears out the tunnels.
All right, but now Steve's not there. He's pathing down to the bot lane again. MrRalleZ is fixing side lane here. And Exileh is putting pressure, but he doesn't have kill pressure ever because there's multiple members on the strong side here for Schalke.
Oh, nice. Hits the shot mid-dash.
I mean, if he doesn't have another W ready here, after this W, if Exileh has to use his ultimate form, then MrRalleZ can just pop his ulti. That's why he has to be very, very scared here.
Oh, no. We've seen this before from Exileh. One more dash. One more.
Yeah.
Oh, going in. Locked down. There's no room for Exileh to escape. TP is coming in, but it looks like it will be canceled in the end. Not the same for Steve.
TP canceled on one side. Steve just lands, and they go for Baron.
Yeah, well, Unicorns of Love may struggle with cost map plays in this 1-3-1. Schalke not having the same problems. They know the pink ward's there this time around, and they don't care. They've got the advantage here. They're going for this Baron.
Oh, they don't see that green ward, Sifa. So they don't know there's a ward there. I just toggled the visions here. They're unaware that Unicorns have vision.
Baron dropping low. Move. Is he going to go for it? Tunnel over the wall. Is it going to happen? He goes in. Can he steal it? Pushed back. Good job, Fox. Are they going to be able to get it? Yes. Baron dropping for Schalke. The curtain call comes out. He's going to get knocked up by the wave. No more shots to take here. Schalke, after their mistakes in game 1, secure the Baron here in game 2. And Chachi, just frustrated, running in to try to make something happen.
Yeah, and that's honestly a clean play. Gilius with the right move right there. He knows, he flashes in, and all he has to do is either do the cocoon or fake it, and then Exileh will go back to one of his clones, but they're both in range of MrRalleZ and Sprattel there, so that was the right moment to kind of trigger his flash. Exileh's flash was down, so at this moment, right here, 2 dashes down, flash in. Either he goes to the middle clone or he goes to the last one. The only outplay for Exileh is to actually go back to his original clone with R right there, and then maybe dodge Gilius cocoon. but he was caught with his pants down. That's 2 members out of the fight because there's no TP for the trundle. And really good zoning on Move too. He can't enter the fight. Look at Steve here.
Yep.
Just making sure that Move can't enter in, and then the Baron gets finished off. More fighting here.
Exileh trying to find that flank, trying to poke out some of these members to break this siege. He cannot stay in front of that tower. The Caitlyn trap, the lineup, trying to make it difficult for Schalke to approach, but the cannon minion has the range, and it's just going to be the long, slow siege. Veritas, though, caught out, not going to drop. Trade of blows here, both sides knocking each other low, no one dropping, but the tower falling for Schalke. Steve on the bottom side.
Oh, he flashed and ultied.
Gonna get it. Fox so low. Move trying to make his way in to stop this, but Steve is not scared. Will back off, but the minions continuing to burn down the turret.
Oh, you almost got Fox there at the end. Steve flashed and put his ulti down. That's why you saw Fox's health drop on your screen. Obviously, sometimes you don't even need to watch the fight. You can just track the health bars, and you can kind of deduce what's going on.
Yeah, I've heard that's the mark of a great color caster, where you can watch a fight just by the cooldowns being used and know what's happening.
You just you don't have time to watch everything that's on screen. That's why I miss actually half of what's happening on the screen, because I usually just stare at the minimap.
No, you just pick one half and scream about it.
Yeah. But it's so hard, especially when you're playing a game and you're actually watching the minimap and you're just walking to somebody and then they ask you what the hell you're doing. It's like, I was just trying to pay attention to more things.
Keep your focus on your own lane, and Exileh has to keep his focus on getting out. In that exchange. Tower now potentially under siege here, but Unicorns of Love doing okay at clearing it out. Little bits of poke. Emperor's tanking the tower here. Schalke, maybe they only need one more wave to make this happen. The Stun Disc making sure that Move cannot get that flank.
Yep, the wall of traps goes up again. But the wall may fall.
Hylissang potentially caught out, bits of damage onto him. He has to flash safety. Steve on the wrong side, but he's got the Mega Gnar. Flash out to dodge the wave. MrRalleZ with the shots from the long range. Curtain call.
Interesting that Steve opted out of the fight. They could have just focused on Vizicsacsi in the front line too, but definitely respecting here. Exileh looking for a pick on MrRalleZ. MrRalleZ not fighting to stay on Move.
Up, nothing left. MrRalleZ on a rampage. Inhibitor's going to drop for Schalke, and the patience coming out in this siege, winning Schalke the day. But now the Nexus stands before them.
And both these teams tied yesterday. Unicorns of Love lacking in consistency in their game 2, winning game 1. Schalke, on the other hand, live and die by the sword of Gilius. He wasn't enough to carry them game 1, but had some more impactful plays and shot calling in game 2.
Absolutely. This time the decisive play around Baron was the right call, and the team clearly aligned on that decision. Made it work for them, throwing Move out of the pit to secure that Baron. The slow siege working out in the end, but with Baron buff off, they don't have the luxury of the quick recall timers, and Chachi is hungry for blood.
Yeah, and no need for Dustblade of Drakthar here on MrRalleZ. Just going defensive, max range with the rapid fire cannon, then going for
Chachi.
defensive MR. Is Chachi now getting caught?
Hylissang on the way. No healing debuff without Steve. Just gonna back off here in the end. They will get the red buff, but at the end of the day, they're still so far behind Exileh.
Oh, that's Sprattel.
Pop. Not enough. He wants to go for more. Snaps back, makes it out. I mean,
Snaps back to reality.
Hope there goes gravity.
But Unicorns, they won't be so mad. Just have a tie here.
They are going to get the tower in the end. A nice trade back. Limiting the gold lead, only 4K in the favor of Schalke. 31 minutes in, it's not massive. It's a decent advantage, but it's not everything.
But it's a problem. Sometimes you have a gold lead of only 4,000 at this point, and both teams can still fight each other. But if you look at the nature of the compositions here, it's a much larger deficit for Unicorns of Love to kind of play around. When Exileh can't even one-shot supports at will anymore, and this type of damage comes out in the back from MrRalleZ, it is so hard for them to play. If Steve can dictate the side lane pressure too by winning both duels, both versus Vizicsacsi and Exileh individually, then Unicorn's composition doesn't have any win condition left, barring any major mistakes here on the side of Schalke.
Absolutely, and you said yourself, no Duskblade coming out for MrRalleZ. He knows that the only way that their team goes down is if those flanks come out. Making sure to have that magic resist, will not get one shot, has Sprattel to back him up. And right now, Unicorns of Love Really just waiting for Schalke to make a mistake so they can find a way back into this game.
And Schalke right now, they're just waiting for Steve to pressure in the bot lane. Look how the Unicorns of Love have completely forsaken their strategy, and they're playing Deathball right now. They're playing 5v4 top side of the map, but Steve has pressure soon. Schalke just needs to be careful, but...
Oh, aggressive moves.
They want to win 4v5 here, Sifa.
Trying to move in. Schalke set to take down the tower, and as Chachi leaves, there are no options left to defend. Steve on the bottom side as well. Steve not going to make it there in time. That's the double in terms of towers. Setting their sights on the inhibitor, the trap line, not enough. Veritas, let's see it. Curtain call, good cancel from the tidal wave.
Yeah, Hylissang both on Bard and Nami, always ready to trigger his ultimate to cancel Jin's channel. We saw him move, hesitating on the bottom of your screen, ready for a flank. But the second he moves away, he kind of stops peeling for his team, and then his front line takes so much damage. So it's incredibly hard for Unicorns to find a way out. They're clawing here, but they're falling deeper into the pits.
Running out of options now, approaching the 6K mark for the gold lead as those two towers fall. Baron up in 15, the next Dragon's a Cloud. No reason to fight it. One objective that both these teams have to vie for.
Yeah.
And the pressure completely in favor of the Unicorns, or rather in favor of Schalke, as well as the compositions.
Steve right now itemizing one MR item for LeBlanc, one for Trundle in terms of armor items, and then he can win both because he has Black Cleaver. So he's dictating one side lane, Unicorns can't answer in the other one. Let's see how well Schalke can deny vision, and if they leave any room for error on the next Baron bait.
Gilius needs to be the strong shot caller to keep this going. Fox getting aggressive move running. Tail between his legs, can't even afford to get that flank. Chachi, there might be a miscommunication between the teams. They're going in at separate times. Chachi burning down. Bubble comes out. Chachi tanking enough to survive. RalleZ all alone. Not the pick that they wanted. Heal coming in. Suddenly he's in trouble. Ma saving his life in that exchange. The tangible gold lead right there, saving the day. But Unicorns of Love just buying themselves a bit more time in this game.
And that was the out for Unicorns. Assassinate MA80 carrier, but it was barely not enough. RalleZ healed after the fact here. Chachi now's getting poked down. Fox is zone.
Oh, flash out, Fox. One more, gets it! That was the hook shot, making things happen. Oh, stringing him along. Veritas thought he had a chance. Schalke now set to back off with no AD carry. This is an easy Baron opportunity for them. Move. Doesn't really have the opportunity to get in here and steal this.
Yeah, his tunnel network has been depleted because Schalke has continuously had enemy red side control, so he can't even go for a Hail Mary steal. This is the final nail in the coffin. We're looking at 62,000 gold versus 55, 7,000 gold lead here for Schalke. Set up for the Baron, completely negating Unicorn's composition entirely right now in the mid to late game because they just got that early lead. And yeah, look at it.
Veritas steps forward once.
Hoop and scoop, flash to then move your soldier.
Flash.
Perfect play by Fox.
Beautiful overall. And that flash burned out as well from that cocoon from Gilius. I mean, not only are they getting the major advantages like Baron, but trading flashes when you have such a massive gold lead.
Yeah, and they have the zone. So trading flashes from when ahead generally isn't worth it. But with this comp, if you have so much zone control, the only way you usually get caught is somebody closes the distance quicker on you than you would expect. Right now, Exile's looking to flank here too. Good that Gilius does not engage because the counter engages here immediately.
Coming on. Gnar's already been used up, but Fox just doesn't care. Curtain call comes out. Who is going to drop? Is this the last act for the Unicorns? One drops for Fox. Last shot. Is it going to be enough? Chachi is going to get burned down. Deathfire Grasp wins the day. Snare going to miss in the end. Schalke taking control of the base. Veritas, he sets the fall. They burn him down. Double kill drops for the Jhin. Elise goes up, she goes down, someone else on the side of Unicorns goes out, and Schalke take control in game 2. So many ties coming out across both teams. They may have struggled in game 1, but Gilius stepping up, the whole team stepping up and shutting down the 1-3-1 from Unicorns. Never given a shot to make the plays they wanted. And one final kill to close this out in the favor of Schalke. They're gonna tie the setup 1-1.